Italy is the only country in the world that contains two independent nations within its borders and where people communicate with their hands. Unlike anywhere else on the planet, Italy is a land of bizarre wonders, from the wild orange throwing festival, a law about smiling in the streets of Milan, to beaches where you're not allowed to take sand home as a souvenir. Italy, the strangest country in all of Europe. Let's dive into 15 amazing facts and strange things in Italy right now, the only country that contains 3 countries within itself. Number 15, the only country that contains 3 countries within itself. If Paris is the city of lights, then Italy is the capital of charming weirdness, not just home to the ancient Rome, enchanting Venice, or artistic Florence. But here's something few people know. In the boot-shaped heart of this nation, you can literally visit 3 countries in a single afternoon. Sound strange? Yep. Italy is the only country in the world that contains 2 fully sovereign nations within its borders, Vatican City and the Republic of San Marino. Vatican City is the smallest country on Earth and the headquarters of the Catholic Church. It's not just famous for St. Peter's Basilica and the Sistine Chapel. One cool fact, the Vatican has its own Renaissance-style guard uniforms designed by Michelangelo himself. No, that's not cosplay. It's a living ceremony. Head northeast and you'll find San Marino, a tiny mountaintop republic perched on Mount Titano, which has been independent for over 1700 years. Most people don't even know it exists. With one of the oldest governments in Europe, San Marino once printed its own currency, had its own national post office, and its passport is a rare collector's item, like a vintage stamp. Fun fact, San Marino citizens don't need a passport to enter Italy, but tourists can get a rare international stamp in their passports as a quirky travel souvenir. Comment 4 if Vatican and San Marino are now on your travel list. The weirdest beach rules in all of Europe, number 14. The weirdest beach rules in all of Europe. Italy is home to some of the most personality-filled beaches in Europe. Yes, beaches with personalities. Start with La Pelosa, known as the Caribbean of Italy for its crystal-clear waters, where you can literally see your shadow on the seafloor. But what really sets it apart is not its beauty, but a bizarre rule. Tourists are required to lay down towels before stepping on the sand so they don't take home the precious grains. Violators could be fined up to $500 because here every grain of sand is basically gold. Not far away is Budelli Island, home to one of the world's rare natural pink beaches. The blush hue comes from crushed micro-coral washed ashore over centuries. The Italian government has banned anyone from stepping foot on it. You can only view it from a boat. Even weirder, for 30 years the island had only one resident, Mau Mirandi, who lived like a modern-day Robinson Crusoe. Feeling adventurous? Check out Govano Beach, a hidden clothing optional spot tucked between Sinetra's cliffs. To get there, you'll have to crawl through an abandoned 1-kilometer-long railway tunnel, pitch dark, cold, and creepy, but oddly thrilling. Comment 5. If you've never been to a beach with rules weirder than these, the Queen of the Neighborhood in Italy, women. Number 13, the Queen of the Neighborhood in Italy. Ever heard of the Queen of the Neighborhood in Italy? That would be La Regina del Quartiere. Picture a classic Italian woman, floral dress, red lipstick, neatly done hair, and heels. Even if she's just buying tomatoes or taking out the trash, she's stunning sharp and never steps outside without being totally put together. Italians call this la bella figura, not just about looks, but the art of carrying yourself beautifully. Whether you're in the kitchen, on the street, or locked in eye contact, Italian women speak with their whole bodies. When they talk, their hands fly, shoulders shrug, eyes dart, lips curl. They're culinary masters. Lunch is a canvas for food artistry. Their beauty isn't in makeup, but in deep eyes, high cheekbones, and sun-kissed skin like Tuscany at dusk. Fun twist. Italian women are welcoming to foreigners, but never in a rush. You might be tested like a chess piece in conversation. A first date isn't to impress. It's a 5-second audition of your aesthetic taste. Pro tip: if she touches your hand while talking, that's your window. And if she sits across from you, gives a sideways glance, and raises one shoulder, congrats, you're witnessing the Italian art of flirting in its purest form. How about you? Have you ever met La Regina during your Italian adventures? Or if you want to master the art of charming Italian women on dating apps, drop a comment with 8 below. Vintage Vespas, Italy's Rolling Street Heritage, number 12. Vintage Vespas, Italy's Rolling Street Heritage. In Italy, no vehicle brand is loved like Vespa because no other machine captures the soul of an entire country. Born in 1946 after a period of social upheaval, Vespa was created by Piaggio not to race, but to bring Italians back to a life that was light, clean, easy to handle, and oddly beautiful. What no one expected was that it would become embedded in the very DNA of Italian culture. Even today, you'll still hear the iconic buzzing sound of vintage 1960s Vespas echoing through alleys in Rome, Florence, or Naples. These aren't fancy collector's toys, they're everyday rides for Italians who see their Vespa as a lifelong companion. Some towns even have separate lanes dedicated to vintage Vespas, and clubs organize road tours across Tuscany with hundreds of hand-painted Vespas cruising through vineyards like a rolling heritage parade. Few people know that in Italy, old Vespas aren't seen as outdated, they're cherished like aged wine. Some towns like San Gimignano even host annual events like Vespa Raduno, where hundreds of classic scooters parade through medieval architecture like a celebration of national nostalgia. And in southern Italy, Vespa even rolls into weddings. Couples skip the limousine and ride off together on a red Vespa through the village with bells ringing and white ribbons fluttering in the wind. Italy will pay you $30,000, but there's a catch. Number 11, Italy will pay you $30,000, but there's a catch. In a few mountain villages in southern Italy, something unusual is happening. Only in Italy, the government will pay you up to $30,000 just to move there and open a small shop. In regions like Calabria and Molise, local authorities have launched a one-of-a-kind initiative, cash incentives for foreigners willing to relocate on one condition. You must start a small traditional business. It could be a vintage bookstore, a repair shop, a cozy local bar, or even a handmade pasta store. Jobs that are slowly fading in today's digital age. Here's the cool part. You don't have to be Italian. Americans, Canadians, Australians, anyone who's ready to live slow and has a solid business plan can apply. Local governments even help with paperwork, tax breaks, and introduce you to the local community who just might greet you with fresh lasagna and a glass of red wine. And here's a fun fact. Some towns have already prepped houses for rent at just $1 a month, complete with a tiny yard, a fireplace, and scenery straight out of a Van Gogh painting. Want more info? Drop a comment with 2. The only city in the world with a smile law, number 10. The only city in the world with a smile law. Here's something hardly anyone knows. In Milan, smiling was once considered a kind of light civic duty. Back in the 19th century, city officials introduced a charming guideline. Everyone should smile in public unless you're in a hospital or at a funeral. Though it's no longer a formal rule, the spirit still lives on as part of Milan's unique charm. In Milan, smiling isn't just polite. It's how you connect with the whole city. The corner pastry seller, the metro worker, even a local police officer. They all know a warm smile can brighten up even the greyest Italian day. Here's a surprising twist. In some older neighborhoods, if you show up with a not-so-friendly face during community events, you might get a gentle reminder from locals, a kind of Lombardian tradition, to keep the vibe positive. This city, famous for luxury fashion and elite design, has chosen the simplest symbol to represent itself, a smile. And maybe that's why people leave Milan with more than just a fancy shopping bag. The only city in Italy without a single road, number 9, the only city in Italy without a single road. In a world racing towards self-driving cars and tangled highways, there's a place so bizarre it's hard to believe. Venice, the only city where you can't drive a car. Not because the streets are too narrow, but because there are no streets at all. Venice is a maze of over 150 canals, 400 bridges, and countless ancient cobblestone walkways. There are no cars here, but Venice does have a world-famous water highway, the Grand Canal. Fun fact, Venice has taxis, buses, and even ambulances, but they're all boats. And the drivers, they need a special boating license and steer with the elegance of ballet dancers. If you want to get around here, you'll either walk or hop on a boat. The most iconic method, the gondola, a slender, traditional boat steered by a single oar. Venetians don't complain about the lack of cars. They embrace the clean air, the gentle splash of water, and the rare peace that feels like another world in modern Europe. That's what makes Venice a living heritage site, admired by the whole world.
The 45-second coffee ritual of Italy. Life in Italy, number 8. The 45-second coffee ritual of Italy. In Italy, coffee isn't just a drink, it's a social ritual. But there's one unwritten rule every Italian knows. No espresso after 11 o'clock a.m. sounds strange. For Italians, coffee, especially espresso, is a morning ritual meant to wake the soul. Here's something even more curious. In traditional cafes across Rome, Naples, or Bologna, Italians typically stand at the counter for less than 60 seconds. They order un caffè, take a quick sip, and head out as if checking something off a to-do list. The phrase to go basically doesn't exist here. A cup of coffee is meant to slow life down, even if it only lasts a minute. In Trieste, known as Italy's coffee capital, there's even a whole dictionary for how to order coffee. Saying espresso is actually wrong. Locals just say cafe. You'll need to learn the lingo. Nero means espresso, capo is a macchiato, and gocchiato is a single drop of milk. And in cities like Rome or Naples, morning coffee is performed with precision. Here's a touching tradition you probably didn't know. Many locals prepay for a coffee called a caffè sospeso, a coffee left behind for a stranger who might need it. It's one of Italy's quietest, kindest acts of humanity. Italians and their unusual obsession with tablecloths, number 7. Italians and their unusual obsession with tablecloths. In Italy, a meal doesn't begin with a toast. It starts with laying the right tablecloth for the right occasion. For Americans, it's just decoration. For Italians, it sets the entire emotional tone of a meal. There's a specific cloth for Sunday lunch, another one for unexpected guests, a hand-embroidered heirloom used only on Christmas Eve, a green olive cloth reserved for farewell dinners. In Italy, fabric doesn't just cover the table, it speaks the words that are too tender to say. And here's what the world doesn't know. In places like Umbria and Puglia, mothers pass down heritage cloth sets through generations woven with stories of summer meals, family arguments, and tearful recon. In the town of Modica, there's even an annual Tavaglia d'Art tablecloth festival where people compete in embroidery and storytelling through their cloths. In Florence, some traditional textile shops still carry linens designed by emotional mood. One is called Unexpected Joy. Only Italians could make a tablecloth feel like haute couture. The strange and magical nightlife of Trastevere, Rome, number 6. The strange and magical nightlife of Trastevere, Rome. Everyone visiting Rome hears about the lively squares, balcony, wine sessions, and buzzing nightlife of Trastevere. But few know about the hidden after-hours culture that feels unlike anywhere else in Europe. In Trastevere's back alleys, locals still light candles outside their doors. Not for decoration, but as a silent invitation to talk. You won't find overcrowded bars here. Instead, people gather on sidewalks, sipping wine and having deep poetic conversations that last until sunrise. There's no blasting music, just the sound of real life. Rome is also the only city with secret restaurants that open at 2 a.m., serving dishes recreated from 2,000-year-old Roman cookbooks by a peak. And if you're lucky, you might join a locals-only ghost tour through the Pantheon's eerie shadows. Walk down Via del Corso at 11 p.m., and don't be surprised to see confident Italian women strolling with espresso in hand, laughing loudly on the phone, dresses flowing in the wind. That's Rome at its rariest. Bars like Bardolico or Jerry Thomas Speakeasy are known not just for artisan cocktails, but as secret meeting spots for artists and writers. Piazza Navona, once an ancient stadium, transforms into an open-air stage for street performers. And don't skip Piazza del Popolo, where the whispering wall lets you hear someone clearly from nearly 100 feet away, like Rome itself is trying to whisper secrets just to you. The Italian way of traveling, number 5. The Italian way of traveling. Traveling in Italy isn't just about checking off landmarks. It's a spectacular journey of experiences. Start in Terra, where 5 colorful seaside villages look like they've been painted into life. From there, it's easy to reach Porto Venere, a hidden gem where you can kayak through mysterious sea caves. Hop a train straight to La Spezia to enjoy ultra-fresh seafood at local prices that won't break the bank. Leaving the coast, head to the Leaning Tower of Pisa, the hardest to topple monument in the world. But don't stop just for that famous holding up the tower photo. Take a short walk to Piazza dei Miracoli, home to the cathedral, monastery, and museum. Then swing by the nearby Orto Botanico, a botanical garden founded in 1544, one of the oldest in Europe. In Rome, the Trevi Fountain isn't just for tossing coins. A 10-minute walk gets you to the Spanish Steps made famous in the film Roman Holiday. Continue to Via del Corso, a shopper's paradise nestled in the heart of the ancient city. And end the stroll with a perfect Italian espresso. Of course, the Colosseum, once filled with the clashing sounds of swords, is just steps away from Palatine Hill and the Roman Forum, where you're truly walking through the world of the ancient Roman Empire. Italians don't talk with their mouths. Interesting facts about Italy. Number 4. Italians don't talk with their mouths. You've probably heard that Italians talk with their hands, but you won't really understand it until you're standing in a Naples piazza watching 2 men arguing, arms flying skyward and shoulders shrugging. In Italy, communication isn't just verbal, it's full-body theater. For Italians, hands don't just support speech, they are a language. The gestures are so structured that they can be translated one finger pinch push toward. The sky doesn't just ask what's going on, it conveys confusion in the most elegant way. Fun fact: Italy once had a full dictionary of hand gestures recording over 250 official motions. In Naples, kids are even taught to parlar con le mani, speak with your hands, as part of local culture, and gestures vary by region. Romans wave like orchestra conductors, while Sicilians swirl their fingers like a tango dancer. Every conversation becomes a lively performance. You can't understand Italians by words alone, you have to watch them speak. Their communication style is emotional, unique, and physical. One of the reasons Italy is like nowhere else on earth. Europe's most bizarre and wonderful festivals. Number 3. Europe's most bizarre and wonderful festivals. If Italy were a live-action opera, its festivals would be the most unforgettable scenes. Take the Carnival of Venice, where masks aren't just costumes. They're part of centuries-old rituals. Held each February in St. Mark's Square, masks were once used as invisible passes for forbidden affairs between nobles and commoners in a time when love across class lines was off-limits. Some balls were so secretive, no one's identity was revealed until sunrise. Then there's Evra, a small alpine town where the locals reenact history by pelting each other with oranges. Yes, oranges. It's a full-scale fruit battle with Roman flair. Want to stay out of the chaos? Wear a red hat? It's the local code that says, "I'm just watching." And if you think horse racing needs jockeys, welcome to Siena. In Piazza del Campo, the Palio di Siena is a legendary race where horses can win without riders. What's more, each neighborhood has its own flag, mascot, and even secret museums dedicated to their racing history, open only during festival season. Living like an Italian for under $1,600. Month number 2, living like an Italian for under $1,600 a month. If you've ever dreamed of living the European lifestyle with your morning espresso, lunch under an olive tree, and evening sipping wine, Italy might be your perfect destination, especially when the cost of living here is 40 to 50% lower than in the US and much cheaper than other Western European countries, like France or Germany. In smaller cities like Bari, Lecce, or Bologna, you can rent a 1-bedroom apartment in the city center for around $700, $950 a month. Basic utilities, electricity, water, gas, trash, heating will run about $130, and high-speed internet costs just $30, $35. Food in Italy is a daily joy. You can live well on $300, $400 a month if you cook at home or grab lunch out for just $12, $15. Public transportation is highly efficient and budget-friendly. Monthly bus or tram passes cost $40, $50. A gym membership is around $35, $50 a month, and a private dental visit starts at only $50, at least 60% cheaper than in the US. All in all, a single person can live comfortably in Italy for just $1,300 to $1,600 a month. Here's the best part. Italy offers major tax incentives for foreigners, up to 70% off your taxable income for the first 5 years. Plus, there's a long-term visa program for young retirees with straightforward financial requirements. If you're looking for a place to live, well, live slow and live smart. Italy might just be your answer. With these costs, would you choose to settle here? If yes, choose 1. If no, choose 0. Please share your answer in the comments. The most peculiar dining rituals in the world. Number 1. The most peculiar dining rituals in the world. When you set foot in Italy, you'll quickly realize food here isn't just a meal. It's a ritual, even an art form protected by law. Take Naples' margherita pizza, for example. It's officially recognized by UNESCO as intangible cultural heritage. To be authentic, It must use San Marzano tomatoes, buffalo mozzarella from Campania, and be wood-fired with precise salt placement. If not, it's considered disrespectful. And whatever you do, never ask someone from Bologna about spaghetti bolognese, because it doesn't exist there. Locals eat ragola bolognese with tagliatelle, a flat ribbon-like pasta, not spaghetti, and absolutely no garlic or thick tomato sauce like in American versions. Italy boasts over 350 types of pasta, and each region has its own sacred pairings. Pesto only goes with trophy. Don't even try mixing it with other noodles. Alfredo? That's an American invention loosely inspired by Italian cooking. In Italian culture, food is about roots, not random creativity. Even wine isn't about getting drunk. It's enjoyed like water at lunch, but always in moderation. And never sprinkle cheese on seafood. It's a culinary sign. In Rome, pizzas are often square and cut with scissors. In Sardinia, there's the infamous casu marzu, a live maggot cheese you can actually taste on a dare. Just be ready to sign a waiver first. We've just explored 15 amazing facts and strange things in Italy together. Hopefully this gave you a fresh perspective on the country. Don't forget to follow our channel, like and share the video to support us. See you in the next one.